Hello, welcome back to the Ace Racing League. My name is Amir Haziq and I'm your commentator today. And today we are here for Tier 1 Monza GP. This Italian track, which opened back in 1922, the host of the Italian Grand Prix, has a total of 11 turns with a total length of 5.8 kilometers. So today, the plan for today is the following. Drivers will have 50 minutes of practice and qualifying session, then followed by a 23-lap race. There are open setups but one mandatory pit stop, which means that all the drivers will have at least to pit once during the race. So then, enough information, let's go over to practice. So then, here we go. Now then, we saw in real life what happened to here, one of the F3 cars were incidentally with the orange-colored McLaren type car, which was driven by the Alex Peroni, went over the barriers at Parabolica. Luckily, it won't happen this time around, as the corners here don't have the sausage curves that the F3 cars have to do in real life. But now this is my due practice session, 15 minutes of it, and we will go into the race with 23 laps ahead of these drivers. Now then, running through the drivers list that will race in this one, we got about quite a decent number of drivers from the Tier 1 grid racing. And expected full grid of 20 drivers, with the other four I'm seeing through the entry list here, having livery, not having a livery to be seen, but at least the names are there. And if they are racing, it is a full grid of more than, I say, 20 cars. We'll have to wait and see how many will join. But now, practice session is underway as we see David Leeds in the McLaren type car coming through the Ascari chicane, one of the many overtaking points on this circuit. A very famous circuit, of course, home of the Ferrari Tifosi, and this year saw Charles Leclerc winning here. But enough of the actual racing talk. We can go back here to the race for ARL. Sorry, Ace Racing, yes. And leads in the Scuderia Valkyrie car, coming across the line here to start a practice run. So we can run through a flying lap around the circuit if we can. Coming into the first corner, a usual bottleneck point when drivers come to race here, especially a full grid of 20 cars. The left, sorry, a right, a left and another right that heads up from the Variante del Rettifilo to the Curva Grande, a long sweeping right-hander, 6th gear, almost 250 kilometers per hour before they had to brake hard into the Della Roggia. A tricky chicane here with the sausage curves which can actually catch out a lot of drivers. Through the Lesmos, Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, taken here in 4th gear, 3rd if you're not brave enough to tackle the wheel spin coming into the entries. Out of the Lesmo, into Seraglio, which is a slight kink to the left, under the old Indianapolis type oval on the top there, full of concrete, not used since the 60s, and into Ascari. Some drivers take it here in 3rd or 4th, depending on how brave you are in trying to control the wheel spin again. These cars can easily lose it if you overstep the mark. Slipstream is crucial, as you can see there, Leeds taking a slipstream from one of the Scuderia Torosso type colored cars. Through the Parabolica, 4th gear, and now the driver will open the DRS as he crosses the line here. Leeds will set a lap time of a 1 minute 39. Now we don't know how fast that will be so far because we haven't seen the other driver set a lap time yet, but it should be fast enough to qualify here with a good time in this split. Here comes Marius, coming towards the line here to start a lap around Monza. And as well, other drivers have set a faster time than Leeds here at the moment, but Leeds was only just setting a banker time. It's a 1:37 from Jensen. Maxim in second, closely following him. Well, actually 1.4 seconds, but as I said, this is probably them setting a banker time to get things warmed up here for the actual race, the actual qualifying session that will be coming later on. As Mary's into the barrier, and he's back into the pits. So then, a lot of drivers testing the limits of the track already. Monza can be very tricky. I've driven here myself in these F3 cars to test it out, and it can be very tricky when the cars lose grip. Overstepping the mark is pretty much a given here. All right then, back into the action. On his lap is Tambui. Well, Tambui there fourth in the standings for Joff Racing, the Belgian, who is just a few points behind Mika Hakimi, 9 points to be exact, and a further 40 behind Janssen, who's leading the championship right now. And in the team championship, Honda F3 still lead. Joff Racing second with 83 points, 96 to 83. Porsche Junior third, and Scuderia Valkyrie in fourth. Well, it says out lap there on Joa Tambui's name, but he's definitely on a hot lap right now. Not sure how that happened, but either way, through the De La Rocha chicane, up to Ascari. Let's see how this man who's fourth in the championship handles this circuit. Janssen still leads the way in the charts in this practice session. It's definitely an indicator of what's to come if practice session times are anything to go by. But Janssen definitely looks good here again to win another round in this championship. Max Janssen in the Honda F3 car. And across the line there, a 39.6. Not bad for a first banker lap. We'll see plenty more of that in qualifying after this, whether or not he could actually turn up the wick and catch Jensen, who's leading right now. Well, a few views there. We had, yes, once again, here's Mika Hakimi on his flying lap now for Scuderia Valkyrie. Of course, for me to introduce myself, I've actually known Mika Hakimi for about almost a year now, and I've driven with him on the circuit, and the pace he's showing here definitely would suggest that he is trying to go for a win in this race. Considering the fact he has come close several times in this championship, but so far not yet having to crack the win, but he'll definitely love to go for the win this one. Through De La Roja. Coming up now to the Lesmos. Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2. It's a first round at the moment, so we can't really be sure if any of these drivers are putting in the absolute beast of a lap time that they will be aiming for, or probably they will reserve that for qualifying. We'll have to wait and see. Through Ascari. And out of Ascari. Not really using a lot of the exit there, and that is actually conservative considering the fact that AstroTurf on the outside can easily spin the car into the barriers and heavily damage it. We saw in real life how in Ascari itself, Vettel actually spun there, taking a Lance Stroll with him. Shows how easy even the real life pros can actually mess it up. Up to the line now, and oh, it is actually an actual outlet this time. So Mika Kimi then goes onto a flying lap here around Monza. Coming to De La Roja then, into the first timing beam dip for Mika Hakimi. And he's up by 4/10. So let's see there if he can get it together for the rest of the lap. Jumps onto the gravel trap somewhat. The car hopping onto the gravel at the De La Roja. Through Lesmo. Fully committed there as well. Brakes glowing coming out of the second Lesmo. We're on board with him now. DRS will definitely be open. It's worth about to at least 4/10 of a second here if DRS was not enabled on the long straights. Coming up to the second timing beam now, and he's up by 900 this time, so he's lost a bit of time in the second sector. Through the Ascari chicane, can he make it up here through the final sector? This may only be practice, but he is trying to show here he means business. And Max Jansen will definitely be keeping an eye on that. In fact, it's not Max Jansen on provisional pole in this practice session at least. It's Maxim who takes pole position. The rest are in the pits. Up across the line now, DRS open again. And it is a provisional pole here in practice. So it's a 37.3, nearly 2/10 up. He can break into the 36 if he wants to push out of the way, as will the other drivers for sure. This is the fastest plate, mind you, compared to the Tier 2 race we had last week. It was right in the alley of at least the 39s. The drivers here are going almost 2 seconds faster. All right. So then, with practice over, we'll be back after this for the qualifying session. All right then, so we're back here for the qualifying session for the Ace Racing League here at Monza, and all the drivers are out like a swarm of bees out of a honey from a beehive. A lot of drivers out, and Mika Hakimi has led the pack, so that's probably the thing that he wanted, to get ahead of everyone and try to get a clear lap here. Means business, but the slipstream here, he might be punching a hole behind him, and he could probably inevitably create a tow for the rest. So let's see how this plays out then. Right, here we go then. The first of probably a few qualifying laps for these drivers. 15 minutes isn't such a long time. It's in fact just about slightly as long as a F1 qualifying session. I think it has 15 minutes. So the drivers will have approximately at least 7 laps to get around here. If they can get it clean, come back in, turn around and do another one. So let's see how much they can do before they have to inevitably pit and put on a new set of boots. Here's Hakimi. Big, massive lockout coming into the first chicane. He could probably inevitably flat spot the tires, but so far he has kept it on the road, and that's the most important thing. He would have easily locked up the tires and cancelled his lap. Coming out now through the first sector. Last time was 35 second sector when it was set in practice. Unfortunately, not yet. It's not set here yet, considering the fact that it's still the opening lap of the session, and him being out in front. On board again, through the Ascaris. He's taking that in third gear, managing the wheel spin very well. Up onto the back straight, through Seraglio. DRS well and truly open. Up the Ascari then. This will be the benchmark time that everyone will try to beat when he completes his lap here, Mika Hakimi. A 45.0 is set there, but I'm not sure whose time is it so far. We'll have to wait until he comes across the line. Ascari then. Fourth gear corner. Not using a lot of the exit, fearing a spin. Through the corner where Peroni crashed in real life. Coming up across the line now, it's a 37.2. So 37.3 was the time that he set in practice, and he just bettered it by a 10. Now that we wait for the other drivers to come across the line, see if they can beat that time, and immediately Mika pulls into the pits. So he's waiting for the traffic to clear up and get a new set of boots and refuel the car pit as Imran Sheikh nearly runs into a car that's coming onto the pits. Well, luckily nothing happened there, and Imran Sheikh has actually left the session, but he'll come back in, no doubt. As now we're on board with Marius Morrison for the Porsche Junior team, a team that's lying third in this championship, and he locks up coming into the Rettifilio, and inevitably he has to cancel that lap time. It will not count as Leeds goes up to second. So it's a Scuderia Valkyrie 1-2 at the moment. That will be putting a smile on the bosses there in that team. David Leeds up in second. It's a 1-2 for the team, and he's about 7/10 off from Mika Hakimi. So not bad for a first lap time here from David Leeds. Taking it gingerly through the sorry about that, De La Roja. And I think this might be a slightly slow lap. He was looking a little bit gingerly coming through there, if I should say so myself, as Imran Sheikh comes back into the server. Let's see then if this was inevitably a slow lap, or is my eyes deceiving me. It is a slow run. In fact, you can see at the bottom of the screen there his times. This is just to take it conservatively for his next run. Third place is Mortief, and that's the top 3 that have set their times that's seen on the graphics here so far. We'll have to wait and see until the other drivers will come across the line and set their lap time. And as I said, that Alex Plunkett for the NAR team clocks in at 38.5. So it's definitely now going to be a race to see of who can beat that Mika Hakimi lap time. He has set a 37.2. That's quite a high bar, to be honest. A 37 here, he could easily reach a 36 had he not had that rather slow by his status sector. But as I said, that it's a fast lap. His time has been eclipsed. A 37.0 for Mortife. Well, where did he come up with that? An unbelievable lap time. It's almost a 36. So we can simply say here, whoever's broken into the 36 today will definitely be the toast of the entire championship for this round at least. Robot with leads again in the McLaren cars. Well, in the McLaren car, sorry, but in actuality, he is with the Scuderia Valkyrie team. So it is a small detail, but I can tell you through the information that I've got that this is Scuderia Valkyrie's David Leeds. As Leeds goes off there, coming out of Ascari. This will not be a representative lap time of half a second lap here. Fully committed coming through the Ascari, but what will the lap time be? And I think he's still going for it. In fact, that didn't look slow at all. He's coming across the line now. Will it be a 37? It is a 37.8, and it puts him up to 4th position. 8/10 off from Mortife. He will definitely try it out again as Mortife is on another run. Now, I can't see whether or not that lap time he's going to set here. Mixer Mortiferum. I'm mistaken there, sorry. Well, we all make mistakes there. Happens to the best of us. Then coming through the final corner, he is the man to beat right now in this qualifying session. We still got a best part about 7 minutes left to go as he crosses the line now. And Mortife still records the fastest lap time here, but that time run is probably just a warm-up lap. Setting him up here for the proper lap coming up into the Retropilo chicane. Mortiferum. He's back into the pit, so he's restarting that lap. 5th in the championship for the Prancing Knights team. And he's definitely laying out the gauntlet here. Despite being 43 points behind Max Jensen, he could still just haul a bit more points here if he gets a good round this time. But Jensen's lead looks really unassailable. If anything, it should just be that he could try to score as many points as possible for the rest of the season and win it by a couple of margin. But we'll have to wait and see then. It's qualifying is another thing. The race is another matter altogether too. As Mortiferum goes through the Ascari chicane, we're on board with Max Jensen now. Speak of the devil. Here he is coming through the De La Rosa chicanes. The Ascari now. He might be on a flyer or he might be on an outlap because it just says right there it's a 37.005. So that puts him on pole position. So either the live timing screen here that I'm getting right now is not showing the full story, or the fact that Jensen has definitely pulled in an absolute blitz of a lap. He nearly gets into the 136s by just 0.005 of a second. Well, that's the kind of pace that he could show there. The Honda Junior driver. And yes, he is definitely on an hard lap. He's weaving to get temperature to his tires. There is a car ahead of him, but I don't think that'll be a problem as David Leeds comes through the Ascari chicanes here. Can he see him through the rearview mirrors? I think so. Leeds will probably see him through his own view. Just on the horizon as Jensen guns it coming through the Ascari chicane. Up to the line now. Yes, that was an outlap. So 4.5 minutes to go, just over 4.5 minutes to go. The championship leader here sets another lap time. Sorry, he's on another flying lap. Now then, through the Rettifilio chicane. Oh, he spins it! And he's into the escape road. He's definitely he has enough time to do another lap here. Just as I was about to say, will he go for another? Will he go for a fly, or will he just try to take it easy for this one and try to put in another banker? As on the leg goes up to 9th in the pecking order right now, but his lap times are not seen. So the grid will probably sort itself out when we see the provisional results after this. And we're into the 36 now. Marius has recorded a 36.9. Well, where did that come from? He was through the escape roads. He was through the escape road earlier. Now he has gone on and set an absolutely stonking lap time. And back into the pits he goes. So then, a 36 has been recorded for the first time in this session. Now, will the other drivers aim for that mark? Or is that time unassailable for Marius? We'll have to see. Wait and see. It is actually one leg. My mistake. Coming through the Lesmos, through Seraglio. And he is 7, sorry. So that lap time was a bit of a mistake from the timing screen just now. So, sorry, from the bottom of the screen, I mean. Lap time set was 9, but in actuality he's 7. As Mixer Mortiferium goes up for yet another lap time. Multiferum, my mistake. Oh boy. Oh, it's a 36.6. And sorry if I missed that as well, but he has raised the bar even higher. And he's going out again. So then, Multiferum for the Prancing Knights, fittingly around the track, famous for the Prancing Horse, has actually put the car on pole position. So then, Jensen now will try to see if he can aim for that lap time. And at the moment, it's the man who is 5th in the championship is on pole position. Marius is, I think he's in 5th. Yeah, 10th in the championship, my mistake. And Jax Jensen, the current championship leader, in 1st. With Mika Hakimi setting the earlier pace at 37.1 now, he's in 4th. Still all to play for, about 5 tenths in it between these drivers. As you can see there, Max Jensen turning the car as much as possible. This is definitely a warm-up lap. Gapping himself there from David Leeds. I think he just let him through earlier so that Leeds can be on his way. As the 9 drivers that we have right now in the grid have set lap times. This will be the final lap for sure. As Jensen now comes up of the Parabolica and starts his lap time. Now Mika Hakimi there right behind him. In 3rd position, right behind him, so he'll probably get he'll probably get a slipstream through the whole lap. The toe here, especially in Monza, is very powerful, as we all know in real life as well, that the cars will follow here as much as possible to get the best possible top speed. But through the corners is probably where the danger lies, as the dirty air effect can really hurt these cars. Even though they're lower tier Formula cars in real life, but they're still they still pack a punch when you punch a hole through the air. 3 tenths behind the current time set by Monteferrum. Jensen will have to put together 2 very fast sectors. And we all know that this guy can really turn the screw when it really needs to. Hence why he's the championship leader. Through the Lesmos, DRS Open, through Seraglio. Coming up now to the Ascari. Let's see where this lap time, the second split compares. And he spins it! Oh my word! He does a Vettel here. Will he get collected by another car? He moves out just in time. Oh my word! And is that the car that he took out as well? That's Jeff Jacobs with, I don't know where he is. I think he spun out at the first corner, the Rettifilio. It's all kicked off here, and we are now into overtime. So any lap time set here will count towards the final grid positions for the race. Maxim's on it, albeit last time he was 6 tenths behind as Adam Rainey leaves the session. We have so far 11 drivers on the grid there setting their lap times. Not sure how many have set lap times yet because the lap time is clear. Maxim spins into the Parabolica. Sorry, into the Ascari, and he's facing the wrong way into the green barriers. He's seeing as Alex Plunkett spins, and he's into the other side of the Ascari barriers. What happened there? I think he might have seen that Maxime spun right in front. Marius spun right in front of him, and he had to take avoiding action. That's why he's into the barriers. So chaotic end to the session. What has been a brilliant session for all the drivers, lap times wise. 3 seconds the difference. 2.9 seconds the difference. That might sound a lot, but in actuality, it is very close, especially with these slipstreams, with this circuit known for its slipstreams. We'll have to see when the race comes around. Boy, oh boy, are we in for a race now. Field is a bit mixed up as David Leeds comes across the line and he betters Mika Hakimi's time. So then, Leeds jumps Hakimi at the death. Literally no time left to go, and he is now 4th on the grid. All right then, so with the race underway shortly, we'll be back just in just a moment. Right then, on the grid here for the Ace Racing League Tier 1 race around the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, the world famous circuit with its high-speed corners and high-speed straights. We are definitely having a race to remember in prospect. We're only about 10 seconds away then. The tension building. The drivers will definitely be feeling it. Revs are rising. And it's lights out, and away we go here in Monza for the 23 lap race around Monza. As Mortiferum has gotten the start that he wanted. He is coming to lead into the first corner as Max Jansen goes off. Max Jansen actually outbraked himself. He nearly ran to the back of Mortiferum as Marius takes the lead. As Jansen goes onto the extreme road, onto the escape road, trying to avoid the carnage, and he has successfully avoided it. But I think a penalty might be ensuing for him. He has to slow somewhere on the track to let the others by. That is a disastrous start for the championship leader, as Mika Hakimi made a jump on David Leeds as well. He's up to 4th. And coming through the De La Rocha chicane for the first time, we're on board with Montiferrum, and now we're on board with Jeff Jacobs. He probably saw the whole thing there, that the championship leader going off the road. He was lucky that he didn't get collected by everyone. But apart from that, it's been an absolutely clean start for the rest of the field. The start of the race there is very typical Monza-like. We can see how a kerfuffle can happen when there's so many cars coming in at one time. A bottleneck occurs, and just like in first-person shooter games, a choke point happens as Jacobs has hit. Jacob hits Tambwe, and he's off the barriers as expected. Jensen slows before the final turn to serve his penalty. But dear oh dear, it's a messy start for everyone. Oh dear. That's okay. Well, sorry for the technical issues there, but we're back here to the action as Marius for the Porsche Junior team is leading the way. And that's some good amount of points that he's needed for the run into the championship. Remember, the Porsche Junior team is only 28 points behind the Honda F3 team. And with the way that the start has begun for the championship leader, Jensen, this would probably be a good time to score some much needed points. As Mortiferum is second, Hakimi is in third, and Jensen, despite having to slow at the start of the race as Jeff Jacobs has retired from the race, Jensen is still within 5 seconds of the rest. So it's a game of strategies of this. Remember, one mandatory pit stop will be needed for all the drivers in this race, as Hakimi is now in the slipstream. He's gotten the DRS2. Alrighty, outside Montiferum in the Prancing Knights car, sorry. Will he get him into the first corner? No, not this time. He goes for the switchback, but Montiferum is brave enough to hang on the outside into the Rettifilio chicane. But Mika will have another bite of cherry here, coming up to the Della Roja. And this is a favorite overtaking spot for cars. But he's got so much momentum. He even told me that he actually hit 290 on the straight. So straight line speed's coming. As the leader spins, Marius has spun, and Mika's hit him. Montiferum goes. Oh my goodness, it has all kicked off here. As Montiferum is the gleeful leader here, but he slows. The lead has changed hands within a space of 2 corners. That's unbelievable. This is actually more pandemonium than Mika Häkkinen when, oh, everybody spins. They've all spun coming into the Ascari. Would you believe it? And One Leg has benefited from the most of this. He has climbed up to second, and Jensen as well. He will be definitely fortunate. He will be counting his lucky stars here after making a kerfuffle at the start. He's now up to second, and he's possibly going to win this race. Would you believe it? It's all kicked off at the Ascari, and Mika Hakimi is actually in the pits. So, no, sorry, Maxim's in the pits. Mika Hakimi is still on track, but he's lost a lot of time. Mortiferum is 7th, and Sheikh, after a somewhat troubled qualifying session, where he actually kept coming to the pits, and he had to set, I think he might have had problems with PC, but he was coming in and out of the server. But he's also benefited too. He's up to 6th, as the fastest lap of the race goes to Leeds. Yeah, One Leg said it first, and now Leeds sets the fastest lap. It's going off here, and we're only on lap 4 of this race. My word, if this is going to be is going to be the barometer for what's happening for the rest of the race, I'm definitely going to buy tickets to watch this in real life. As Plunkett goes onto the inside of Leeds. Leeds cuts back. This is the battle for 4th. And Leeds now upholds the honor for the Scuderia Valkyrie team after Mika's rather unfortunate spin coming into Ascari. But it was a bit of a tandem drift with everyone who was trying to take the lead. And I think Marius had a penalty because he cut the chicane. He slowed up completely. Everyone tried to overtake him, and pandemonium ensued. Sadly, we don't have a replay of that, but that was one of the weirdest situations I've ever seen. And this was almost equivalent to the WTCZ round in Salzburg, where nobody wanted to take pole. In this case, nobody wanted to take the lead. Unbelievable. So then, after the grid that was mixed up in qualifying, we're almost looking like business as usual, as Jensen, he's right up behind One Leg now, is sensing a bit of an impetus to perform here now. He's right in the slipstream of One Leg. Will he go into the Parabolica? One Leg holds on the outside line. Jensen goes into the inside. And yes, Jensen makes the maneuver, and he makes it stick too. But he will leave himself a bit vulnerable here on the front straight. Coming up to the Rettifilio chicane as the fastest lap of the race goes to Marius. But wait, Jensen gets it, and One Leg gets it too. Plunkett got to the fastest lap. But here we go, coming to the first corner, as I said. Jensen has left a bit of a hole in the air to get slipstream for One Leg, and One Leg retakes second position as Mika Hakimi sets the fastest lap of the race. So the crash from earlier at the Lesmos didn't really affect him, now did it? He's still on it. And now we come through part 3. I think this is the 3rd time that they're engaged in battle between Jensen and One Leg. Jensen comes onto the inside of the Variante Roja, and he makes it stick. For real this time. And now can he pull away? He pulls onto the inside, coming into the Ascarius. Leeds goes there, he spins, I think. That was Leeds spinning. I think. it looked like a McLaren car, and that was Leeds. As Maxim has left the race, the damage probably is too much for him. So 10 car field that we had were close at the start have now been reduced to only 2, and make that 3 actually. Imran Sheikh has left the race too, so we have 7 now, with Plunkett being the other driver last classified so far. As there's a battle between Leeds and Monteferro as he tries to recover from that disastrous spin at the De La Rocha chicane. Leeds, on the other hand, I think he did spin it, but he managed to recover, but unfortunately has conceded the place to Monteferro. Well, this will have dramatic implications for the championship in terms of the drivers who are chasing the Silverado leaders. Morrison, who is, I think, not here this weekend, will not score points. Hakimi, on the other hand, who needed a good race here to catch up to Jensen, has blown his chances too. As Monteferro sets a 38-1 in this race. So early doors, he is showing the pace that he could have tried to win this race. But unfortunately, that's been thrown out the window somewhat. It's a compromise, but it's definitely not a write-off just yet. As the leader, Marius, still leads away by 4 seconds from Jensen. The other Max, who's also Dutch, and riding in the colors that look almost like Red Bull car. So he's doing a mission impossible, just like how Max was to chase Charles Leclerc in Austria. Will he get him at the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see. Pit stop still a factor here for the rest of the race. As Alex Plunkett's in the pits, probably a routine stop, or is it for damage? So let's see here. He's in the pits right now. Probably a routine stop, but it's quite early in the race, to be honest. With the wares that the league is running, he'll probably have to pit somewhat later to make the strategy work. But if this is an alternate strategy, he's going long, he definitely has made a very brave decision to do so. We'll have to see if he can make his way up through the grid after this. And he exits. Yep, it's a routine stop. This might have been repaired for damage. We didn't see what happened to him, but either way, he's made his mandatory pit stop, and he won't have to worry that for the rest of the race. As now, lap 7 we go as Plunkett exits the pits. The fastest lap goes to Max Jensen. So, bring it on now. This is game on. He's about 3 seconds behind. He can still get him through the slipstream, the faint amount of slipstream that he's punched through the air, such as the power of the slipstream here at Monza, as we all know. But it's another thing to catch, but it's also another thing to overtake, as they say. So then, lap 7 as Plunkett duly takes the escape road to let the leaders by, and that's really good driving from him. He goes a lap behind, but at least he won't be a factor like Esteban Ocon taking out Max Verstappen by accident last year in Interlagos. So then, of the front runners, the top 6 anyway, minus Plunkett, they've all haven't made their pit stops yet, and surprisingly, even the guys that were involved in the accident at Ascari haven't either. So we run through the order then. Marius leads. 2nd is Max Jensen. 3rd is One Leg. 4th is Monteferro. 5th is Leeds. And 6th is Mika Hakimi. These are the drivers on the lead lap. As Hakimi is the last of the lead lap runners, he's 12 seconds behind, but he's more than within a shout of winning this race if he plays his strategy cards right. Through the Ascari, he's got his teammate David Leeds here. Now, in the championship stakes, these two drivers are still pretty much somewhat close to, sorry, they're not close to each other. But what I'm trying to say is that, will team orders be played here? That's the main question. Not sure yet, but let's hope that team orders will not be played because everyone wants to race cleanly. As Max Jensen sets a 38.074, he's almost close to a 37 in race trim. So he's got the giddy up to chase after the race lead and to try and win this. We'll have to wait and see then if pit stops will change that. But he's, out of all the drivers, I think he's not been involved in a single incident that at least that causes damage at least. So he's within a good shout of trying to take it, as Leeds is a bit slow coming out through the Rettifilio and Mika Hakimi goes through. So I'm not sure whether that team order at play or Mika Hakimi just simply passed it. But either way, that clears one car away for Mika Hakimi. And he comes up now. His next target is Monteferro, the guy he tried to take the lead from, who happened to run up the road himself, and pandemonium ensued, which was pretty crazy, to be honest. Anybody could have gotten the lead within the space of 3 corners, but the incident that ensued has unfortunately inevitably spread the grid out quite a lot, as we now view Mixer Monteferrum. He's trying to score what could be said is a consolation podium in the grand scheme of things in the championship run. One leg, on the other hand, has lost the toe, and he has lost touch to Jensen, as something happened at the front there. Jensen's taking the lead. So Marius has either made a mistake somewhere, or he definitely conceded. There's no other way to put it. He's made a mistake for sure, as now he's into the pits. So Marius is into the pits. Jensen has taken the lead, and fastest lap goes to 1 leg. 38-3, nope, make that 38-1. It's been taken over by Mika Hakimi, as Marius comes into the pits for the junior team, Porsche junior team. In he comes, out he goes. And then that was a quick stop there from the Porsche junior team. Where will he come out? Just behind Alex Plunkett, I think. Yep. So there's Plunkett. He goes by. He unlaps himself from Marius at least, but will this be a masterstroke? It's a bit early as he crosses the white line there. Not sure if the stewards will have a look at that. But he crosses the white line and exits the pits. There he goes. He's 31 seconds behind. So the pit stop average here is about 30 seconds. So let's see if he can make up that time, as the other drivers will have inevitably tire wear to contend with. We're bringing out 1 leg. He has lost out a lot. So he's also probably made a mistake somewhere, as Leeds and Hakimi have jumped him for third position. Monteferrum is now up to second, 1 position off from where he would have loved to be had it not been for that incident at Ascari. Rudy Ascari now goes David Leeds, who has given his place up to Mika Hakimi. Championship-wise, Hakimi will probably need that, as he is chasing shadows, shall we say, at the moment, as the sun sets over here in Monza, as Jensen is in the pits. So Max Jensen makes his first stop, and probably only stop of this race. Remember, it's a mandatory pit stop for everyone in this league. Stops in his box. Now, where is he going to come out? Remember, Marius is the target driver here. He's also made his pit stop, as out goes Max Jensen now. Where is Marius on the road compared to him? He hasn't crossed the line yet, and he's just coming through the Parabolica, I think. And there we go. Jensen has kept the de facto lead of the race, minus the pit stop cycles as they gone through. So Max Jensen then in the net lead of the race. Marius has jumped 1 leg, and he is now de facto second. Third is still 1 leg. Third is 1 leg if he makes it outside the pits. Yep, there he is. So then, the bottom half of the top 6 have made their pit stops. The bottom 3. Let's see what the top 3 are doing, as Monteferrum still leads. Hakimi is second and leads third. So, where will they come out after this cycle of pit stops shakes up? Through the Lesbo then, we're on board here with the championship leader, and the guy who will probably be smiling underneath that helmet. He probably couldn't believe his luck that after the mess up of the first corner, he had to slow up to let the other guys through. He was still in the net lead of the race, and he is definitely going to be smiling all the way back to the Netherlands after this. Ascari then. We'll have to wait and see if the other drivers stop. In fact, we're quite early into the pit stop cycles, about 10 laps in. And they'll probably be going on to the harder spec tires these F3 cars are running. As Monteferrum does come into the pits this lap, and I don't think it'll be enough for him to stay in the lead of the race. Leeds sets the fastest lap of the race as Hakimi comes in too. So Leeds stays up an extra lap here. Will it be beneficial for him? Let's wait and see how that plays out, as Hakimi also stops in his box. Jensen has come across the line, and Jensen takes second place. So where will Marius be behind all of these guys? So third place right now on the road is Monteferrum, as Marius does jump Hakimi in the pit. So the extra lap hasn't worked out for Hakimi, at least. Monteferrum has jumped a few positions. So Marius, with that one mistake that led to Jensen overtaking him, has also led Monteferrum to overtake him. So time lost on the road, has also inevitably cost him in the pits too. So then, pit stops are shaking up nicely here for Max Jensen. He leads the race de facto. Never mind David Leeds, he still has to pit here. Second on the road, at least when the pit stops shake up, will be Monteferrum. Third is Marius. Fourth is Mika Hakimi. And we'll have to wait and see how the rest of this start goes because Leeds has a 10-second lead over the rest. He will probably come out in fifth because the average pit stop time, as I said earlier, was about 30 seconds. And that's 30 seconds that can be lost whether or not you had a good in lap or you have a good out lap after this. And judging by the out lap, it's Jensen who's actually turning the screw. He's about 7 seconds ahead from Monteferrum. Marius is right behind him. He will probably get the DRS and the tow still. And Mika Hakimi, who's also probably fixed his damaged car in the pits, will like to get it back of him. Now then, we'll have to wait as Leeds does come into the pits this time. And did he take his pit stop already and he's exiting immediately? That's quick. That's rather quick for the Scuderia Valkyrie team. He will come out just in front of Monteferrum. Although, there he is. Monteferrum comes across the line. Marius comes through as well. It's Hakimi who's going to have a drag race side by side coming to Retrofilio. Who's going to blink first? And it's David Leeds who blinks first. And Hakimi goes around the outside. That's pretty much an easy maneuver because on cold tires, he will definitely don't want to challenge and run into the side of him. We already had teammate battles in F1 that ended alright this year. Let's not mention one team because we know we're in Italy right now. Yeah, so Hakimi has actually gained a position on Leeds, but he has not gained the time that he had against him before he entered the pit. So Leeds staying the extra lap has actually put him right behind the wing of his teammate. And that's a lot of time that he has gained too from staying out an extra couple of laps longer. Meanwhile, we're looking in the battle for second here. He is right in the slipstream here, Marius, behind Monteferrum. Underneath the old oval to the Ascari as oh, there goes white. He's at the Ascari going white there, Monteferrum. I was about to say the battle will be brewing then, but unfortunately the battle ends as quickly as it was about to begin. But he's still at the back of him, so we can still see whether or not second and third will have that battle after this. But oh boy, just open my mouth and I'll be pleased. I was about to say that the battle will be brewing, and he's gone and dropped it at the start. But luckily it wasn't a spin, it was just a slight mistake. These cars have no ABS, mind you, so lockup can easily be done by just overcommitting to the corner and carrying too much speed. As across the line then goes David Leeds and Mika Hakimi. Second, third, fourth, and fifth on the road here, within earshot of each other. As Hakimi also locks up coming to the first corner, that won't do the tires any good. These medium tires that the drivers will now take to the end of the race. So then, on board now with David Leeds, right behind his teammate Mika Hakimi. And it has been like that for the past few laps, before and after the stops. So he will probably be wishing that the DRS will be powerful enough to get him by without too much drama. But we already had high drama here in this particular round. And with the unpredictability of sometimes how the drivers can behave when they're in close proximity, it has created one heck of a race. But running away with this one is Max Jensen. And with 10 laps to go, coming up after this, he's looking to lap his way all the way back to the bank in the Netherlands. A 10-second lead, and he will increase his championship lead over the rest of the field here. Not bad for how it was at the start. He nearly lost it, and as I said, he's lapping his way to the bank. He's lapping away with a faster lap too, a 37.8 in this particular time of the race, as the fuel loads will inevitably drop and the cars will get much faster. On board now with David Leeds, still in the rear of Mika Hakimi. DRS obviously open, and there he closes it just in time. But that has pressured Hakimi just a bit. He locks up again coming into the rest of Filio. He is sensing his teammate right behind him, and there's nothing he can do about it. He can't break the toe because he's not behind the other car of Monteferrum, already race winner here this year, mind you, as well, to drag him along fine, nicely, just like a Ford Fiesta pushing a Bugatti Veyron. Okay, a Ford Fiesta pushing a Bugatti Veyron. That sounds a bit weird, but what I'm trying to say is like the wing reduction and the drag reduction system of the Bugatti Veyron can make it as slippery as a Ford Fiesta going fast through a highway. But you get the idea. It's one of Martin Brundle's favorite quotes. Anyway, back to the battle here between the Scuderia Valkyrie cars. Cruiser Raglio then, underneath the bridge again for the 14th time this race. It's still close between David Leach and Mika Hakkimi as we go behind the view behind for a momentary second. I thought it was sliding there. That's been the case here all race long. In fact, all race meeting long with these guys. Ascari is one of the more tricky chicanes. We saw that in real life. What happened to Vettel as the battle for second place has heated up. Did Marius actually go to the inside, or was Monteferrum taking the inside of Marius? I think it was the latter, where Marius was taking Monteferrum, and the places switched, but they switched back each other inevitably. As now into the RS and into the slipstream comes David Leach onto the outside, coming into the Rettifilio. Will Mika give way? Yes, he does. No team orders there from the Scuderia Valkyrie guys. It's fourth position for David Leach, and well, suffice to say, Mika Hakkimi's race has gone slightly pear-shaped after what was a promising session. But in actuality, from their race positions, it hasn't changed much. In fact, Leach was actually in front of Hakkimi at the start of the race, so nothing much changing there, apart from whatever happened in between. As Monteferrum locks up slightly, the dirty air giving its effect here as he lost a bit of grip coming into the Della Rocha chicane. Ascari runs a bit wide there onto the AstroTurf. Luckily, he didn't spin out here like Hamilton did back in 2009. Well, he's really pushing it. Monteferrum's really pushing it. And the fact that 5th place in the championship right now, and he's just ahead of Mika Hakkimi, will do wonders for his bid on trying to catch up to him for the top 3 championship. As Hakkimi now goes to the inside of Leach. Will he take him? No, he goes off into Ascari, and he comes back to the track. Will he hit? Yes, he did. Oh my goodness. The two teammates of Scuderia Valkyrie have hit each other. Now, that was a light contact. I hope not much damage has occurred between the two cars. And Hakkimi, I think, is slowing because he probably got a penalty for that. And I just said earlier that they want to avoid having a teammate hit on each other, like in what happened to a certain Italian team. They have. And it's named after Scuderia too, so need I say more, to be honest. But that is such an unfortunate incident. Mika was just looking to overtake him onto the inside, runs a bit wide, and runs across the track. He had nowhere to go. Leach had nowhere to go either, and that's it. That's all she wrote for both of these guys. I think that's 4th place and 5th place for the Valkyrie team as Janssen. Well, not much to say here. I can say superlatives. He has led from the get-go after. Sorry, not from the get-go. He has led after pretty much picking up the pieces from the other drivers, just falling over each other, and he has not looked back since. Fastest lap of the race goes to him, and he is just taking a really nice Sunday drive. Well, Saturday drive, whichever way you want to put at it. And coming out now through the Ascari chicane again for the 16th time this race. Smoothly as he does it. And now, being the only Honda representative here this weekend, he will have to carry the team with as many points as possible. His teammate for this particular race, Niels Verheiden, not available this weekend, unfortunately, so all the responsibilities of scoring points and indeed the win will now fall on his shoulders. And judging by the way it goes, the team's championship will probably be looking good, as Jeff Racing also have no drivers here. Actually, they had one driver here represented this weekend, which was Jeff Jacobs, but unfortunately he has retired from the race. So this is a perfect opportunity for Honda F3 to run away with this championship and score as many points as possible in the team's championship. Never mind the drivers as well. As now. Oh, okay. So, yep, I've been given over by my producer. Yep, Jeff Racing were here and both of the drivers collided. So we had 2 exact incidents. And yes, it was at, and now I remember it was at the Ascari chicane. It was at the Lesmos as well. So two teammate collisions in one race. Well, that has not happened since, well, forever, I think. I'm not sure the last time when two teams have both cars colliding, but there you go. Jeff Racing there losing a boatload of points to Honda F3, and Honda F3 now will be smiling all the way back to Japan too. So then, here's the other battle brewing on track, minus the guys in 4th and 5th, who, suffice to say, have taken each other out of the running for the podium, and indeed, Matt is scoring more points in the team's race. Here up to Scurry, DRS also open, as yes, Marius ducks into the inside, as he is entitled to. He has gift. And what happened to Jensen? I think I just saw a car that looks like a Honda F3 car just right in front. He was about 13 seconds ahead. Now he's actually only 2 seconds ahead. So something happened. Is that Jensen? That is Jensen! Oh my goodness! Jensen has actually gotten a penalty and he has to slow it right up, and he's dropped to 5th position. So Max Jensen, who was looking so comfortable to win this race, has actually dropped it back to 5th. I think he did make a mistake somewhere. He cut the corner, and unfortunately the penalty system gave him a lot of penalties. He has to give up now a lot of time that he had against the others, and he's dropped back. In fact, he's still trying to slow across the line. Will he get it in time? No, he doesn't. He's out of this race. I think it might have been a penalty that he has incurred as well. That was a lot of penalties that he had to give up, and Jensen has left. He's out of this race. So, Jump Racing, who were out of it in the team's championship in terms of points losing here, will probably be smiling again. They've gotten so lucky here. Oh my goodness. While the Drivers' Championship for them, they won't be scoring any points, but for the teams, it will still be 13 points. Porsche Jr. will score the full maximum points here this weekend, and they'll probably move up to 2nd in the championship. My word. The turn of events. It has gone. Oh my goodness, there's no words to describe. The race has gone one way, then the other, then another way, and then the other again. It's like the waves, the moon has gone around the earth multiple times. The waves have gone up and gone back to the ocean. This is insane. This is one of the craziest races of the year, and I'm happy to say that I'm glad to be commentating for this one. This is insane, and the win is now up for grabs here. 8-10 separate between Marius and Mixer Monteferrum, and his prancing car will win the Italian Grand Prix if he keeps it all together. It's a Ferrari name with a Porsche name for the win here in Italy. And my win, the Italian crowd here have been treated to an absolutely stunning race. There's no other way to put it. It has been crazy from start to finish. So then, battle resumes here. We're up to the Escari chicane. Sorry, Escari, keep a second. It's the Della Rosa chicane, and it's still close. We got about 5 laps to go here, minus this one. As David Lee spins. Was that David Lee spinning? I think I saw for a second, orange car there spinning. Oh my word! Yeah, he just had a slight mistake there. But Hakimi is now right behind him, and the points that Mika Hakimi were about to lose from having a bad race here, he will make it up. As Monteferrum goes around the outside, coming into Escari. Marius gives way, and yes, it's into the lead. Goes Mixer Monteferrum. Marius has actually put up quite a good fight here. He will come back for sure. But wow, the lead has changed hands here more times than one F1 race, I think, this year. Here we go then, into the Parabolica. The lead changes hands again. But will that be a mistake? Will that be a mistake from Marius to take the lead away from Monteferrum early? He will probably try to stay behind him and get the slipstream coming to the closing laps of this race. On to the home stretch now. DRS open. Who's got the DRS? As Monteferrum sets the fastest lap of the race. He goes into first. Yes, he's the one who's got the DRS. Into the first turn we go now. Through the Rettifilio. As a lockup from Marius. Marius locks up. Monteferrum goes wide a bit coming to the chicane. It's a drag race coming up to the Curva Grande. Who's brave here? Coming into the Della Rosa chicane. Who's bravest to brake late? As Marius takes the lead away from Monteferrum again. The lead changed hands quite a few times in just one lap, as it's a late braking move from Marius. So the Porsche team driver has taken the lead again. Oh man, I'm running out of words here. This is amazing racing from everyone right now. With the championship leader sadly gone because of a technical issue, or it's because he ran wide and the penalty gave him disqualified him from the race. This race has opened up a can of worms, as into the DRS zone and into Ascari goes Monteferrum. Monteferrum takes the lead again. The fleet has changed 4 times in this particular lap. Ascari. Now he will be the guy to give the toe to Marius. So this is it then. The closing lap of this race of what could be said is an absolute Monza classic. This is like reminiscent of the 60s F1 races where slipstream, in fact into the 70s as well, we saw one of the closest finishes in F1 history back in 1971, where 5 cars were separated by just over 700ths of a second. We will see a close finish here a la the 2019 Italian Grand Prix, where Hamilton chased Leclerc all the way to the finish line, and Leclerc had to really hold his nerve for the entire race. And it looks like one of these guys could be Leclerc or Hamilton, whichever way you put at it, because there is Monteferrum in the lead. A bit of opposite lock there for Marius, as Leeds goes back in front of Hakimi. Hakimi goes back in front. So it's a battle between first and second and third and fourth, albeit in different groups. And the one late is the guy who's just watching brief about everybody. He's in fifth and quite a few minutes behind. I think I can see. No, he's just way back. Oh, leaders have collided. Leaders have collided, coming through the Della Rocha, and it's Marius who has lost out. I think that, yes, that was a collision there. So, my word, the two leaders have collided. The battle for the lead is like no one wants this race win. It's unbelievable. As Plunkett comes into the pits, he's a lap behind, but he'll definitely score points because he's completed about 75% of the race. But either way, this has been one hell of a race. An absolutely insane race, if I could say so myself. The lead has changed about a dozen times. In fact, this is almost like equivalent to a classic Monza race where there was no chicane. It was a slipstream right all the way, but this is with chicanes, and it's anybody's race. I can safely say this is anybody's race right now. If there was a collision here coming to closing 2 laps, any one of these 4 drivers could easily win this Italian race, the Monza race. Oh my word. This will now go all the way to the wire. We're on the penultimate lap here. It's Monteferrum who is in the lead. I think there will be a steward's inquiry on that. The drivers will be reporting to each other now. Some of the incidents that will happen in this race. The stewards will have a very long night after this to work out who's being dished out, which penalties and which. Oh man. And it's still not over here because we're watching the battle here for third as David Leeds is on the back of Mika Hakkinen again. These two have switched positions ever since David Leeds made his pit stop. And it could go either way between these two drivers, the Scuderia factory drivers. Now then, temperature-wise, Leeds will probably have to take one for the team too, because Hakkinen is within earshot of Jensen for the championship. He is 31 points behind right now, but after what happened to Jensen with the unfortunate disqualification, I can't believe that happened actually. That might have been an error in the game, because the center corsa game, as we all know, if you cut the chicane a bit and you have a penalty, you reduce it. But if you press the accelerator again, you will regain that penalty no matter how much you slowed. So it might have fallen on Jensen, unfortunately. My word. And was he looking good for a win here today, as Plunkett has stayed in the pits. So he has called himself out of this race, so he will be watching the rest of the guys coming through. Oh. We're on the penultimate lap here. Coming out to the last lap, the leaders will probably cross the line right about a few seconds time from now. We'll see then. So here we go then, last lap of the race. David Lee says the fastest lap of the race as he now goes around the outside, coming into the Rettifilio. Will he take Mika Hakkinen? He blocks her to the inside, ducks in as we got a lockout there from Marius. Hakkinen tries on the inside. He does a bit of a wheelie there. He goes to the ground. I think that was a slight leg, but he's still in the race. According to Ramsey. No, he hasn't. He's out. Oh my word. What happened to Mika Hakimi? Was that disconnection? Oh no! Oh, he went through the ground. Looks like it's a disconnect. It's all gone pear shaped for him. Oh, he's back. Is he back? Yes, he is. I thought he went out. Oh, and he slowed down because he had a penalty. But third place has been gone out of the window for Mika Hakimi, and any chance of gaining a lot of points on Jensen in the championship has gone to the crapper. Oh, this race has everything. This race has had everything, I can safely say. It's had collisions, it's had drivers try to take the lead, and they tried to throw away the lead, and they had it was first, and it was the battle for the lead as well, battle for third and fourth, and then the guy who led the race, who was the championship leader, he had an enormous lead, and he has gone and actually retired from the race. Sadly, he's got disqualified because of the game. But whatever it is, all that is a formality now. As coming through the Parabolica, it's Mixer Montiferrum for the Prancing Knights team, taking an unlikely win here, and he scores a second consecutive win here at Monza. Second is Marius, and David Leeds will come to third place in the Scuderia Valkyrie car after missing out some of the rounds too. Hakimi finishes fourth. I think he just stopped by the line too. And we're waiting for one leg to come across the line in fifth. But wow, what a race! And one leg, here he is. He will score the last. He'll be the last of the league lap finishes as the other drivers have dropped out. As we see Donuts here at the Rettifilio, and one leg does come across the line, and he finishes fifth. And that's it. That's the race here for Monza. We'll wait for the championship confirmation later on. But what a race this has been! And I've been Amir Haziq, and what a race this is for the Ace Racing League. And we'll see you next time.